guys, what's going on, and welcome back to another video on Conqueror's Blade. So we're going to be revisiting the Greyhair Garrison. We seem to be kind of having a bit of a flurry of revisiting all the Season 8 units, just as Season 8 is about to end, so maybe we should change my name to Evo 1 Season Too Late Gaming, but it always kind of seems to be the way with me. I think it just takes me quite a long time to kind of learn the units and enjoy them how I kind of want to play them. So this is probably, I think, the third video now on the Greyhairs. First one, I really didn't like them, couldn't see the purpose of them. Second one, I could see the purpose of them, starting to enjoy them, and now I feel like they're really quite a useful unit, quite a unique playstyle in many ways, and yeah, very enjoyable, a really nice heroic era unit that functions really well in most situations. Veterancy line wise and stats, where I've been going. So I've ended up going down the bottom line. It's kind of maybe loosely the more defensive line, causes the more damage reduction in last stand. Other little bits, you still get things like increased charge damage, a little bit of slashing AP and slashing damage and stuff. So yeah, for me, this seems like the better line to realistically be going. They aren't particularly individually a defensively good unit. You know, only 450 on the piercing defense, 600 slashing and blunt. They do have 14,000 hit points, but it's not really about the individual unit. It's about how they function together, kind of in the three ranks. That could be a very different thing entirely. 3 ranks, and making use of basically the one key and the 2 key to give them this stun immunity. It basically forms them into like a mini shield wall. It's the same type of formation in terms of shape as like a paladin, like a semicircle or crescent formation. But shields up front, long swords in the middle, and pikes behind. It does make this really effective little mini shield wall. I suppose it doesn't have the same sort of coverage as something like a Stalwarts, and really not as much block as a Stalwarts, but with the one key, with this stun immunity that they get, it basically makes them a very sort of impenetrable front line, and very, very effective. On top of that, they actually get a really nice charge to them. Supposedly the charge is actually better in the wedge formation, but since I tend to just follow up by pressing the one key anyway immediately afterwards, then for me I tend to just charge them in the 3 ranks. Maybe that's just me being lazy, but that's kind of how I get on with them. So what about doctrine wise? Well, they get 2 really nice unit specific doctrines. I wish every seasonal unit got such nice ones. So flat damage increase 110 across the board. I mean, absolutely you're going to be putting that on. After that, Greyhair Doctrine, 600 point health increase. No other Doctrine is going to give you such a significant health increase, so absolutely the one to have. Beyond that, Breakthrough Doctrine, because they have sort of this shield wall like a semi-brace type ability, then you're sort of taking quite a lot of damage across the board, so having a Breakthrough Doctrine seems like a really obvious one to have. I would quite like to have a Siege Fighter one as well, but I've not got one, so not a lot I can do about that. Then we just went for Shield Doctrine for the flat defense increase across the board, and a little bit of extra health, just because, I don't know, it seemed like they got a lot of health, so I just wanted to top it up as much as possible. Unit kit wise, obviously we are currently in Season 8, so it's only 1,400 per unit, but it's going to be going up to around 3,000 after the season ends, and that's pretty much the same as any other heroic era unit, so it's pretty in line for what you'd normally expect. Obviously, likewise as the unit kit will be going up, the leadership cost is going to be going up by 15. They're going to be ending up at 240, so same as any sort of mid-tier heroic era unit. Probably a little bit cheaper than things like a paladin though still, or stalwarts. And they are pretty good value for money and do seem to function pretty nicely. But anyway, we've talked far too long already. Let's get into a battle, see what we can do, and see how we get on with these guys. So we kick things off on Sun City. The enemy's starting to pressure the A point. They've got the middle tower in. And I'm sort of deciding, or a little bit indecisive about where I want the fight to take place. The other tower is being pushed in, is probably going to land shortly. We've got a bit of stuff on A, but not exactly loads of stuff. So I'm a little bit worried that the enemy's just going to sort of rush. We're just going to get completely overwhelmed and flattened. So I'm trying to sort of decide where I want to make my fight. Luckily the team go in, and so I know that tower's not going to be getting in now. So that gives me a little bit more confidence, because I've only then got to deal effectively frontally with what's coming. Unit of pikes comes up, but the rest of the team doesn't really immediately support. I decide to go for the pikes. I do a bad job here. You can see I'm nervous about the stuff on the tower, So I don't fully really commit to the pikes. I should absolutely just have charged here. I'd have gone straight into the front of the pikes, done a load of damage. But instead, I'm sort of just dithering around. We're getting shot by range. Almost get killed by that treb. We get like, what, 4 kills? We don't take any losses, luckily, but a lot of damage. So really not a very good start. But as we push around, we can start to get a little bit more aggressive. We try and catch these halberds in the back, get a few of them, you know, get sort of 8, 9 of them, something like that, get a few more as they retreat, and we just keep sort of running them down, and they're just pushing straight to the B point, because the enemy is now making a B point rush. So we're just basically pushing around, just chasing them, grabbing what kills on them I can, and we get ourselves up to almost 20 kills or something like that. And a little bit of fight breaks out in this corner, which is fine for me. I can just push the unit up, stick them in brace formation. We've got a unit of stalwarts here as well. Just every time I'm getting into a fight, just pressing that one key. And then as we come up, I go straight in. We charge straight in, flatten those poor monks, grab ourselves quite a few kills, and we're into the fight now. I'll keep pushing the unit forward, so I'm keeping them on the front of our stalwarts, racking up that bracing damage. You can see we just keep getting kills. I'm going to push the unit forwards again into the front of those paladins. Initially, sort of not that much kill-wise because the paladins have still got their full block, but we just keep pressing one, keep getting that stun immunity, and now the kills are starting to rack in. That gives us a second charge, gives us another, you know, up to almost 70 kills here now, and we've lost, what, like 4 units? It's just forward 1, forward 1, forward 1, and 2 when it comes with cooldown as well. And we're just cycling that stun immunity, and it makes them a very effective unit in this sort of situation. I then, at this point, go back to the supply point and change the unit to a different unit, but it gives you an idea of what this unit is like when it can be used properly, but also with those pikes at the start, why you kind of have to commit with the unit, or else you don't really achieve a great deal. But even if you run in just to like a group of berserkers, like we do here, then really, as long as they can be sort of kept in front of the unit, then they're really not a massive problem, even when they go into berserk mode. You know, yes, they do some damage, but realistically the unit holds them out pretty well. We've managed to deal with the enemy hero there as well. It kind of shows one of the benefits of the unit. Anything that can deal with a unit of berserkers gets a tick in my book. But I even find the unit tends to do well when I don't. So when you find yourself in a situation where you're just vastly outnumbered, or you're kind of too far forward, there's not enough support, you're on your own, whatever, they still seem to get a good number of kills before they die. So like here, we're trying to stop them basically getting back to the point, but there's just so much stuff. And you can see the amount of stuff just flooding in. But look, the unit's holding, and it's just picking up so much damage. Look how much damage they're doing there. It's really intense. I almost get myself killed. They keep in the fight. I'm trying to keep myself alive so I can keep activating the abilities, and I'm just picking up kills, until eventually they kind of get overwhelmed. There's just too much stuff, and eventually they get themselves killed. But still able to get, you know, 50 kills in a really short period of time. And that's why I like them, because even when I do badly, we still get a good number of kills with them. And that really sums up the bulk of my experience with them. They just make for a really solid tier 4 unit that is useful in pretty much every situation. I don't know if I prefer them to my paladins. Probably not. I think it's everything's hard to beat my paladins. But still, they are a really solid unit. Definitely well worth unlocking if you haven't done already. But anyway, this was just supposed to be a short video, so I'll stop talking now. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. If you have, do let me know what you think in the comments down below. And of course, subscribe to the channel for a lot more Conqueror's Blade content. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you all on the next one.